Hello there, welcome back to another review. So let's get back into some more classic Kung Fu movies and have a look at one of my all-time favourite Billy Chong films, and that is Kung Fu Zombie, made back in 1981 and directed by Kei-ying, or Shan as he is known. Now the film pretty much sums up why I watch Hong Kong movies. It's mad, it's silly, it's inventive, the action and editing is out of this world, and yes, despite the film owing quite a lot to Sammo Hung's Encounters of the Spooky Kind, Kung Fu Zombie is a must-see if you want your comedy, horror, Kung Fu shenanigans. If memory serves, I think this may have even been the first Billy Chong movie that I saw, and this is one of these movies that throughout its runtime you will never ever be bored. It's stupid silly fun of the highest order, believe me. The film moves along at a rapid pace and there is an unfiltered kinetic energy to the movie that it just doesn't stop. There is no slow build, no long drawn out scenes, like the movie is in fifth gear and going at like breakneck pace right from the get-go. And it's one of them movies, if you like comedy, check it out. If you like Hong Kong action, check it out. If you like Kung Fu movies, check it out. If you like horror movies, check it out. There is so much going on with this movie that it's impossible not to like it. As I say, the film is constantly throwing stuff at you. It doesn't give you, the viewer, much time to breathe, and to the uninitiated this could be overwhelming to someone new to Hong Kong or Kung Fu movies, but for me, back in the day, this was the whole reason why I fell in love with them. It's worth noting the original Hong Kong cut of the movie does run a lot longer than the standard dub version, but believe me, whatever version you watch, you will have a damn good time with this one. So we get zombies, ghosts, vampires, a wizard, slapstick comedy, just so much to say and talk about with this movie. To me personally, all the Billy Chong movies are worth checking out, like Sun Dragon, Crystal Fist, etc. But if you've never seen any of his films, put Kung Fu Zombie on your list if you haven't seen it, because it's an absolute blast. Now make no mistake, despite all the Kung Fu and some of the gore in the movie, this is a comedy. It's a comedy first and foremost, with some hilarious scenes throughout. The thing is with this movie that it does nothing original, it does nothing new and does nothing groundbreaking, but what it does do, it does at such a mad breakneck pace that it's impossible not to have a good time with this one. It's the kind of movie you can just have your friends around, get a few beers in, get a pizza in, and just have a damn good time. So we start with this priest resurrecting some corpses for this guy, Lu Dai, that he plans to use to sort of get revenge. Like I say, we're off at a lightning pace right from the get-go. A lot of familiar music cues in the movie that you will recognise, like when he brings these corpses back, you will hear the start of Funky Town by Lip Sync. So they put some spikes in the coffin and plan to use these hopping corpses to push Pang, Billy Chong's character, into it. The priest not knowing he was using it for murder, played by Chan Lau. We meet Billy and his father, played by Ching Tao, who, he was in loads of Shaw Brothers movies, as well as, I think it's Cheng Kang-yi as Pang's servant, who you'll recognise as well from a few of the early Jackie Chans, in particular sort of Young Master and Dragon Lord. So his dad wants him to train hard, and they have like a fight involving a table, and like I say, you haven't a moment to catch your breath here. So I love when Pang meets Lu Dai. We get like a quick comedic flashback to how he foiled their bank robbery, like it's all sped up with like this silly music playing over the top of it as well. So the zombies come out and it's actually Lu Dai who falls on the spike. The priest runs off and he gets like a freaky shot of these bodies just like sort of like laying there, and like Pang and his servants sort of bolt it, they run off. And check out some of the cheap lightning effects used in this movie too. I mean, the budget, what can you say? So this lightning sort of strikes Lu Dai's body. The priest comes back to sort of rob him and meets his ghost as his body is sort of mutilated and he wants to be brought back to life as he needs to find another body. So Pang's dad and grandfather we learn were policing the district, and we learn they upset some baddies, the Longs, and his dad has been training Pang, Billy Chong, to save himself. His dad has sort of a heart condition and sort of like keeps collapsing. The editing, as I mentioned, is so quick and relentless, and I have to love how our priest Wu Long goes to Lu Dai. I found your body, and he's like, oh great. He said the only snag is he's 60, because he thinks he's going to use Billy Chong's dad as a body. And there's a funny scene too where Lu Dai is trying to attack Pang sort of by a river, but he keeps falling as he is a ghost after all. And it's just slapstick comedy, but he just can't hit him, and everything keeps going wrong. He then goes on to like make a fool of our priest at a restaurant, and also gropes like a prostitute and sort of rips her dress down. Cuts back to Billy training and keeps spitting out on this scene here. He keeps spitting out loads of water for some reason whenever he is hit. Have to love how Lu Dai and the priest go to the local morgue and sort of go corpse shopping in order to sort of get him a new body, and they have like 3 tries to sort of get him back into a body. We learn too that he actually has to nail the soul into the body when he explains the procedure. The corpse they choose though is actually sort of alive, and his name is Long, and he has like a feud with Pang's family, and Lu Dai's plans to take the body sort of whoever loses when they have the fight. So Billy starts sort of fighting him right away, and as soon as he shows shows up, and it's just crazy stuff. And the choreography, I think, for the most part, is extremely well done. And like I say, I love the cheap gimmick the filmmakers give us to show us Lu Dai's there, is that they just have this hat on a wire. Like he suddenly randomly just starts wearing this hat, and to give the impression that there is a ghost there and he's there, they just have this hat on a wire. What can you say about that? So Billy gets a reward sort of for killing our villain. His dad gets drunk and takes most of the cash and has like sort of another stroke, which him and his servant think it's just another one of his games. Lu Dai wants his spirit in Long now that why does he want his spirit in Long? Now, even that doesn't make sense, because if he does, that means he's going to be a wanted criminal. Like, why do you want that life for? So during their attempt to get him in the body, Long comes back and is now like a vampire, and Billy's sort of father dies. Now Lu Dai wants to get to this body, like him and the priest start the ceremony sort of digging him up. So they've sort of like, he's going to choose that body now. They start digging him up, and just as he's about to nail the last 4 bites in, like the spikes into Lu Dai's, seal his soul into the body, Lu Dai's friends come along and sort of abort the attempt. They sort of run away when the corpse comes alive, which has to be shared now, because it's sort of like he's got Lu Dai in there and like Billy Chong's dad in there, and they've sort of got to share this body. The priest tells them that the only place, like to Lu Dai's goons, the only place they'll be safe where he can't touch us is either a prison or church, or by wearing a leaf hat, to which he wears this absolutely massive hat. His possessed father placed some goons to attack Billy, but he kicks their ass. One of Lu Dai's men makes it into the temple, whilst the other sort of attacks a girl in public, so he gets arrested. Pang finds his father gone, and listen out, there's talking about music cues, the James Bond score that has some cues from that as well. Like I say, it is quite violent in places too, like when Long, now a vampire, kicks he sort of kicks like this night watchman's head off, blood splatters out, and then he starts feasting on it. So Pang comes home to find his dad sort of greeting him at the door, and he's been strangely nice. Not only that, but just the small thing that his voice has changed as well. After trying to attack him in his sleep, Pang sort of escapes, only to try and recruit half priests to do an exorcism. Long turns up and brutally murders Pang's servant, even like spinning him around and round in his arm. Watch the scene and you'll know it when you see it. So yeah, I'll say it's just crazy stuff. So he wants to kill Billy, and the dad says that him and Long should team up. Now the film does start to run out of steam a little bit near the end, which is absolutely no surprise, as the film, as I say, has been in 5th gear absolutely all the time at this point. It's been going along at such a breakneck pace, it was only natural it had to sort of ease off and just slow down a little bit. There's this is like an hour in or so, and the madness just hasn't stopped. So Pang and Long fight, and he is just relentless, like a zombie vampire killer who has done about 20 lines of cocaine and had like 10 black coffees. Absolutely going for it here. As I say, there's a real intensity to the fight scenes, and as I say, I don't think you can take any away from the choreography used in this movie, because as I say, it really is great stuff. So Billy starts to run away, and he bites and kills one of Lu Dai's guys. Billy gets given loads of protective barriers on his body and like some beads, and yep, the madness and craziness has picked up again. Then Long comes at him, just with his fists on fire. Then his feet are on fire, and in terms of intensity, this fight is right up there. Mad and makes no sense, but in terms of speed and sheer energy, you have to see this end fight. It goes from night to day seamlessly as well throughout the movie, and the end fight is no exception. Like when they finish it is light, with Billy sort of stabbing him repeatedly with a stake in the head. And despite the silliness, some of the death scenes in the movie are very violent, and it just ends with our priest sort of being chased by everyone who died in the movie. But what a blast this movie is. Absolutely love it. I can always watch Kung Fu Zombie. I've seen it many times over the years, and it's never ever got boring. It's one of my all-time favourites. As I say, it's definitely one of my favourite Billy Chong movies. But if you haven't seen it, make sure to go and check it out, and you won't be disappointed. Or if you have seen Kung Fu Zombie, make sure to let me know. But as I say, if you've seen Sammo Hung's Encounters of the Spooky Kind, you'll probably find loads to enjoy here. But also, whilst we're on the subject, if you have seen any of Billy Chong's movies, what is your favourite one? I know Crystal Fist is probably most, could argue, probably his highest regarded film, but if you have seen any of his other movies like Sun Dragon, Superpower, Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave, there's loads, there's quite a number of Billy Chong movies to check out. But if you have seen Kung Fu Zombie, make sure to let me know. But my advice is just go see it. You will love it. You won't be disappointed. So thank you very much indeed for watching. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you again soon.
Don't concentrate on the finger, or you will miss all that heavenly glory.